What I know is probably Steve Yzerman's going to take best available off the board no matter what it is.
The age of the preeminent free agents that are out there do not fit the timeline right now.
I think for him to go out and get his guy, that's all we could ask for at this point.
What it does matter is who this person chooses. Hashtag Wiser Plan 1919.
You heard the man.
We also have Michael Gentry here with us in studio. It is NHL Draft Day, and I think if anything that we've learned as a network here at Woodward Sports, and almost pushing up on a year since I've been on, but even going back, draft hope springs eternal, Michael Gentry. So, when you look at it from that perspective, some people are hype. I see it in the YouTube chat thread. They want to talk NHL Draft. And look, I come clean. I am more of an OHL guy. And not to say, like, I don't miss a game or anything like that. It's just, when you look across the board, the thing that jumps out to me, Mike, is, the international presence that's in there right now. When you look across the landscape of mock drafts and things like that, you do have your OHL favorites that are up there as well. But the pendulum has swung more along the lines of an international thing right now. Do you think that's fair to say, Michael? Am I making too much of that?
No, 100%. As you can see with Steve Yzerman alone, he has his thing for his Swedish players. But as far as the NHL goes, everywhere, like, people are pulling players from all different leagues, all different countries, everything. So from the OHL standpoint, it may have gone out of age right now. It might be out of their range. Might see some more in the future. But as of now, you're seeing players come from everywhere.
All right, let's break it down, Mike. He's obviously 8th overall pick. We had Daniela Bruce from the Wings on yesterday. Her and I both said, to quote Chris Draper, we're going to get a good player. This is one of the things. Are you more, from your perspective here, is Detroit going to circumvent, and are they looking for a specific player? Is there a guy that's going to fall to him? Drape says he's going to get a good player either way. What I know is probably Steve Yzerman's going to take best available off the board no matter what it is. So everybody wants that centerman guy.
Yeah.
Are you going to get it? Or because, as Daniela said yesterday, dropping down to 8's probably not that talented guy like the right at the top of the draft and stuff like this. What do you think right now? Is there a guy on that list that you say, hey, this guy's going to be Detroit Red Wing?
Mike, let me give this to you in our Judgment Thursday. If Steve Yzerman doesn't take a center, is the rebuild over? Is everything just falling apart and we're back to square one?
Not at all. These first 10 picks, you could say it's really deep in the center position, and a lot of them will fall off the board after that 8th pick. So I do expect them to go after a center. Matthew Savoy would be at the top of my list. There's mocks that have him as early as 3 and falling as early or as late as 8 to the Red Wings. So he would be at the top of my list. He's kind of like a Steve Yzerman guy. Steve Yzerman has drafted Braden Point. He's kind of got that similar body style to him, similar playmaking ability. So I would like him if somehow we did go with a center at 8. But I wouldn't. Steve Yzerman has drafted a defenseman with one of his first 2 picks in the last 3 drafts. And we desperately need a right-handed shot. Obviously, we have Mo Seider and Philip Hronik, but looking towards the future, you need another right-handed shot in the D zone or as a D-man. So I would like to say they're gonna grab a center, but it's not life or death if they don't. There's a lot of talented wingers in this draft too, Lekermacki. So I wouldn't say it's life or death, but I would like a center.
Okay, right now, sort of gun to your head, who did you pick as the Wings taking 8th overall right now?
Matthew Savoy, that would be my guy.
That would be your guy?
My guy.
Okay, and same with that, the bigger question here that nobody's talking about. Okay, nobody's talking about. Now I got draft capital, salary cap guy right here.
That's the man.
Right, Steve Yzerman's got some of the most salary cap to play with, plus the draft capital. It's not even worth listing it off. There's so much. In saying that, do you expect maybe the moves to be made for the Wings and Steve Yzerman to be active like they have been in the past? Remember last year? Wasn't last year they picked up Alex Nedeljkovic for a 3rd and stuff like this?
Yeah.
Now, I mentioned this because coming out of Montreal, Kent Hughes, their GM, has said that they're not sure who they're picking first 3 overall. Now, you think it's Shane Wright, who's been highly touted since he's been 7 years old, along the lines of a Connor McDavid and stuff like this. But if he doesn't go, is there a possibility that one of these guys at the top is worth the Wings mixing some stuff up and trying to move up to
Maybe.
that, or not in this draft?
I don't think so in this draft, especially if there's question marks with Shane Wright at 1. I don't think anyone's going to trade up like that. Obviously, I think Shane Wright is by far the best player in this draft. Logan Cooley right behind him. But I don't think the Red Wings are in that position to trade up or like do anything like that just yet. Maybe next year. I don't even think they're going to go out and sign someone big this free agency. Or like, I think everyone they sign this upcoming season will be like a cap-friendly deal, something that they kind of work towards if they want to be on this team, a part of the future. Maybe next year would be the year, like all the pieces are in place, and then you go out and sign that big contract. But as of now, I don't see them trading up. I don't see them signing a big contract like a Johnny Gaudreau or who else is out there, like Chris Letang. He's getting older, but he's out there.
The age frame doesn't. It's when I look at the list of free agents, and I know everyone wants the big deal and they want the big contract. The age of the preeminent free agents that are out there do not fit the timeline right now.
But
there isn't one.
Right, that's the thing is who's the free agent out there, right? Who's Johnny Gaudreau's possibly going to get? I think the last offer in Calgary was 9.5, but they're talking about him getting 11 million on the open market. Yeah. But I'm saying is first you have to identify who is that guy Steve Yzerman would give that money to. The other thing is there's different things going on because this is where the in-depth and where your capologist and the guy that knows how to move your money, because there are certain guys. And I mean by this, by a guy that comes to mind, right? You look at all the different teams, but you go into Colorado. Sam Girard's a guy who got hurt, a defenseman, a very, very good defenseman. Now, he was hurt during the playoffs, and it's allowed other guys to step up who will be more cap-friendly for Colorado and keeping that team together. But a trade to somebody who's already under contract might be out there. That's the one thing that we don't know about, that you could speculate who's got a year or 2 years left on a contract that Stevie wants to go out and get as a build. So, to me, I think listening to Derek Lalonde, the coach, is him preaching what was in Tampa, defense first, obviously starting the goaltender out. I like what he said, general managers manage, coaches coach, and players play. We haven't asked you, but your thoughts on the hiring of Derek Lalonde?
Oh, it's awesome. I love that Stevie finally got to go out and handpick his own guy, and it was a guy that he's familiar with, obviously. He brought him to Tampa. He has experience with the AHL, Toledo. He's got tons of experience growing young kids into players, and he has experience with winning at the highest level. So I think for him to go out and get his guy, that's all we could ask for at this point. And he seems like the perfect fit for this team.
There will be a camp that doesn't like the direction they go. If they don't take a center, there will be that camp. And through it all, it doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. What it does matter is who this person chooses, because what he's shown is his track record.
That's what matters.
Right? And you can only go back. Somebody says on here, what's the past 5 years first rounders? You can only go to Steve Yzerman back to the first one and Mo Seider. That's where we had him ranked next question.
Yes.
Right? 100%. So the fact that, you know what, you might have a guy that you might not know, and you better be happy about him, because you know what, I pretty much guarantee he looks at it the same way he's looked at Mo Seider. And that's what he's got going on. I see that mentality with Troy Weaver. I see that mentality with Brad Holmes.
Yeah. Like you said, Yzerman's resume speaks for himself. Who are we to question if he comes up here and picks up a guy that no one has on his board? He did it.
Well, I mean, you're going to keep questioning him.
Like
keep on telling me how stupid you guys are.
Pull it off. You never know what he has up his sleeve. So, like I said, there's no one has the right to question Steve Yzerman moving forward.
Yzerman. #WiserPlan. 1919.
You heard the man.
Yeah, you heard the man.